evening, and welcome to tonight's episode of Arcane Adventures. As always, before we jump into tonight's episode, we have a few session announcements to get through. As a reminder, we have quiz questions available every Tuesday and Friday under the post section of our YouTube channel, which is at Arcane_Adventures. Also, we release shorts in conjunction with those quiz questions, also every Tuesday and Friday, and you can find those that we highlight our most iconic session moments, totally out of context for your enjoyment. And lastly, do you need a recap? Of course you do. The Chapter 6 recap is available on April 30th at noon Central Standard Time. That'll recap all 9 episodes of Chapter 6 before you continue with us tonight in Chapter 7. That is all of our session announcements, so let's go ahead and jump into tonight's episode of Arcane Adventures.
Soonish.
And welcome back. Last we left off, Lorem Ipsum, prior to leaving Provenere, decided to split up a little bit, Altrix and Paloma taking the gelatinous cube to obtain their award at the Hex District, a little bit more than 1,000 gold pieces, so they actually bargained up over the price. That's okay. Evadin took a little bit of a trip to visit Athena Claremorth, only to find out that her father was there interrogating Athena Claremorth. That was not a particularly nice situation to watch, but Evadin decided not to reveal herself to the headmistress, just to make sure she was okay, before reconvening with the party at their estate, the Coastal Chateau. After making a little bit of a plan to tell Straxoris, it was then that Professor Archulets arrived, giving you some updates on some research that he'd been doing on the Binds of Rhyme, and now almost certain that such a device is connected to Rhyme Hollowgate. He also, after Mox and Janorum arrived, determined that this tome that you've brought him is perhaps the most powerful things ever seen, that any of them have ever seen. They have made very little headway on research in that regard because they are lacking a companion artifact to be able to stabilize the runic symbols that keep shifting and disappearing on page. And then an unexpected arrival of Senator Onyx Miletus when the party was drawing some connections to perhaps Project Acadon, and maybe that these things are all related, but maybe not. We're not quite sure. Nonetheless, we gathered our group, decided that Archulets would stay behind to continue research. Onyx Miletus would stay on the supervisory, but keep an eye out in the situation in case any further leads came up, while Lorem Ipsum, along with Cleo Janorum and Mox Flynn, would teleport to Straxoris and then enter Pickle Pines, looking for the remains of an airship that bears a similar moon-shaped insignia, Blue Moon Group, if we will. But it is when we arrived to Straxoris that we realized that the town is very small. We may have splintered through the roof, or at least the first floor, of Sizik and Paloma's old house. We met the mayor, Wayland Straxor IV, who is a rock. Don't be alarmed, it's okay. He does speak occasionally. And then we also met a infamous pichologist named Dr. Glofagurkin, who agreed to take us into Pickle Pines if the party, at least, would provide him protection against the wild pickle vine tree ants, if you will. And after journeying 5 days southward in the core of Pickle Pines, after some near close calls with a falling chain, we have arrived at the airship that has crashed, now suspended about 15 to 30 feet off the ground at a slight angular tilt. And we climbed aboard, began to rummage through the remains, noting struggle, and this was definitely a hijacking of some kind. Someone took forcefully this airship. It ultimately crashed here into Pickle Pines. Altrix found that the engine had been blasted out of the side of the back of the ship, and it was entirely missing, likely the leading incident that caused the crash. Paloma in the cargo hold noted that most of the things had ransacked. Rancor in the captain's quarters, not able to find any particular of use, until Sizik found a secret path about 3 feet tall or so that led into a small study-like area where he found the only surviving page of perhaps a large document of the ship's. And we pick up as Sizik is recoiling away, completely in shock of what he sees on this page. But that is where I welcome all of you this evening to Chapter 7, Double Deja Vu. Episode 1, The Manifest. Alright, Sizik. I'm going to send the manifest your way. But I'll go ahead and also specify. The two names upon that document that completely catch you by surprise is none other than Mara Hopton Lightfoot, your mother, and Pata, Paloma's mother. Signed underneath the cargo description is a single note, just number 2. It says, again, shipping from Pajakin to Agensvale, and has not only the Blue Moon insignia on it, but another appears to be a white and yellow banner with a lion's head on it, and it says approved voyage, and beneath that it says shipping class private Alethian airship. You again are recoiling, still baffled by this, and it is as we cut away from the scene just a moment to find Paloma in the cargo hold. Paloma, you've been searching through some of the boxes, unable to find anything of value until you find a particularly small box, no bigger than maybe a foot by a cubical foot. It's a wooden crate, seemed to have been locked at one point in time, though you can see signs where the hinges have been broken off, and the box tipped over on its side, and brushing away the ashes of parts that have been charred by the recent fires. You can see the stamp, number 2, pressed on the side. And as you pull open the lid, knew what you were going to see, and that is nothing. Whatever artifact was being contained, stolen. But, Sizik, tell us how you're reacting.
Just sort of out of it, like unfocused eyes. I kind of slowly walk, barely even picking my feet off the ground, dragging them across the charred wood, kind of back into the captain's quarters. And, Rancor is in there, just not even acknowledging him. Just gonna keep slowly shuffling, trying to find Paloma, almost in like a daze.
Sure. You stumble backwards, tripping over one of the slightly broken pieces of wood and trip onto your back. Rancor, you hear the large thud of Sizik as he makes contact with the deck, but Sizik quickly scrambles up, clutching the piece of paper, and shuffles out of the room. Sizik, it doesn't take you long before you find Paloma in the cargo hold.
I kind of walk up, fall down onto my knees, and throw the paper at her.
Are you okay?
I'm not sure.
I guess I'll pick up the paper and kind of hover over Sizik, making sure he looked sick.
Sure.
A little bit,
Nauseous.
but it also a bit nauseous, also just completely. He doesn't even look like he's in his own body anymore at this point.
And
I'm sending that your way, Anna.
oh, thank you.
It's in the references channel for all of you.
Oh, it's so pretty. And
Slightly singed by charred, but
do I? So, in addition to the names, do I recognize the weird little lion's head?
make a history check.
Okay. Nope, probably not. 11.
There's a vague familiarity. You swear you've seen it maybe once before. It's hazy in your mind. You can't quite place it. You're just not quite sure.
So she's like distractedly like looking at the manifest and kind of like rubbing Sizik's back, and then she just stops. What the fuck? Sorry. Are we out on the deck? Or are we still in the cargo hold?
You are in the cargo hold.
Okay. Okay, then I'll pick Sizik up and I'll go running back out onto the deck with everyone else.
Okay. All of you see Paloma carrying both a scrunched up parchment, but also Sizik in hand, and hear her kind of sprint onto the deck. Her footfall, I suppose, alerting all of you.
What the fuck? Where did he find this?
I assume in the weird cubby he found in the captain's hold. He found it, went in there, and then walked out looking kind of like that. He didn't say anything to me, he just left. What's wrong
What
with it?
exactly?
It's a manifest from the ship, but it has Sizik's mom's name on it and my mom. What the fuck?
Were your parents own a shipping company? Perchance?
Maybe
No,
there's a
they-
reasonable explanation here?
No.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
And then it has the number 2 on it, and I found a box with the number 2 on it as well. That's the artifact. That's artifact number 2. But what?
Where was the last time that y'all saw your moms?
Across the ocean in Kilauea, and it says it's from Pajakin, which is that's the capital of the island that we're from. I don't know where Agon's Vale is, but
let's see. Who would make a history check here? I think Evadin and Owunul are
Oh.
the only people that would be able to even possibly ascertain.
I'm sorry.
Yep. Y'all have
I-
a proper education to some degree.
Hold on.
That will be a 16.
16. Okay.
Hold on. It's not worth using a luck point on this.
As far as
Yeah,
you-
no. I got a 13.
Owunul, the name sounds familiar in your head, but you can't quite place it.
Sorry,
Evadin,
which name sounds familiar? Because I just heard a
Agon's
bunch
Vale.
of names.
Agon's Vale.
Agon's Vale. The place?
The destination, yes. Agon's Vale, the place.
Okay.
Evadin, even in your lesser education compared to your brother, you have perhaps paid more attention to maps for obvious reasons for yourself. But you know Agon's Vale. You've never been there, not even close. In fact, it's on a different continent. It's south of here by a long shot. It is right in the center. In fact, it is the capital of the Hatan Empire.
Let's see. Agonsvale, that's the capital of the. What was the name of Hatan?
Hatan, yes.
Oh, great! I said it right. Yeah, Hatan Empire. It's south. It's in the continent. It's south. It's like in a continent south here. So
Oh.
Yes.
well then,
it's a bit far away.
So,
Also,
hey-
with your 16, Evadin, you start to piece together if an airship was flying from Pajakin to Agon, flown to day-ridden ocean, and if they ended up in Kilauea, it would be incredibly off course by over 45 degrees. And so something terrible likely occurred, only giving you further evidence that the ship was either hijacked forcefully or something else awry.
Mason, I think you misspoke a little bit. if they ended up in Fenorbia, they were
Thank you.
hijacked.
Yes.
I just want to
Thank you,
clarify.
Anna. Yeah, you are correct. If they ended up in Fenorbia, they would be off by 45 degrees. That is correct.
Huh.
This does seem to be at least a little weird. Definitely indicates some, like, there are some issues if it was ending up in Fenorbia.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
they shouldn't even have gone over. Like, they shouldn't be anywhere near here.
Yes, which means they probably were hijacked or had significant technical failures or an incompetent captain who can't read their navigation tools.
Well, considering all the bodies and blood we found, I think a hijacking is quite prevalent.
Now the question
This
is,
is fair. This is fair. So probably a hijacking.
Does the manifest say whether or not your parents were on this vessel, or they just approved it being sent?
No, I think it says that they are the ones
says-
delivering it.
Yeah, cargo delivered by Mara, Hopton, Lightfoot, and Pata.
Cargo delivered by.
Cargo description, it just says the number 2.
That's it. That's
Well-
all it says. It's a pound
well,
sign and 2.
I'm asking
Kind
the
of sounds like they
character,
did
not
it
the-
themselves.
Yeah.
Like,
Granted,
they were on the ship.
I don't know anything about their ships or how shipping works, but that sounds as if
If they were,
they themselves were delivering it.
well,
Delivered by, unless this is a manifest for something else, meaning they delivered it to the ship. But I don't know why that kind of manifest would be on the ship and not wherever it was being delivered from, or whatever.
well, they aren't here.
Do you?
Is there any like evidence like around the ship, of like somebody like walking away or like dragging anything?
Make a investigation check.
I mean, if there were
Might I give him
salvagers here
guidance?
before,
Yes, you
then
can give them
chance-
guidance.
if there were
Take a D4.
salvagers here before, then chances are you're going to find their tracks too.
Well, Paloma, you know y'all's parents best. Do you see any remnants of something they might have kept on them? Jewelry, anything like that?
Mason, is there any evidence among the wreckage?
So basically, what you want to ask for is, do we see any evidence of like fur or feathers
I was
or?
gonna ask that.
Oh,
Then
I'll
11.
beat you to it. So be fast.
11, Pura. It's been quite a few days since this airship crashed. There's been a little bit of bad weather that's come through here. It's the rainy season for Fenorbia at this time, just at the very beginning. There are some tracks indicating that you're not the first people that have found this wreckage. But in terms of whether they either just came off the wreckage and fled, or if they are marauders or raiders that actually raided the airship once it had crashed and then left, you're not quite sure. You don't know. And then Paloma, to answer your question, no, you start to turn over bodies, holding in anticipation with weighted breath, to see if any person you flip over is your mother or Sizik's mother. And with every body you turn over, there is a sigh of relief. You do not find a single one that is either a heron gun or Erico,
Okay.
let alone your parents.
And I don't recognize any of these people either.
You do not.
No. They're all. I don't know any of these people.
Okay, so if they were on the ship, it's possible they are still alive or got off somewhere.
I mean,
Were they ever even on the ship, or does it mean like it was delivered to the ship?
Well,
It says shipping from. I'm not gonna attempt to pronounce those names. Cargo delivered by. Okay. what kind of check could I make to decipher if the manifest is saying that cargo delivered by means that their parents delivered the cargo to the ship versus they were delivering the cargo on the ship as part of the manifest?
Let's see. So you've never really taken a look at how manifests are written, so you don't really have any
Yeah.
grounds to base that assumption off of. And truth be told, none of you have really studied
As
how manifests work.
Ozen.
That is a good question. I'm gonna say no for simplicity. So I will let you
Worth a
all.
shot.
That is worth a ask. Determine in your own thinking what that wording could have meant, because none of you really have the ground to get a clearer picture.
Can I look over some of these bodies to try and like decipher, who was like the crew of this vessel, and if any are like attackers or boarders or whatnot?
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Guidance. Okay. Investigation?
Did you even need it?
With guidance, it's a 25.
25. Okay. A lot of the people you find on board are they're just workers. They look like they're just a crew of an airship. Despite the signs of struggle, you don't find anyone that seems to be an assailant, which could mean a number of things. It could have meant a mutiny, that people among the crew decided they didn't like something going on. They betrayed them. It could have also meant that none of the assailants died, despite the workers being killed when unplanned. And there are other scenarios too that you can conjure up in your brain. But even with the 25, you don't find anything indicating that there are dead assailants, just the crew workers. And they look like regular people that were just on a voyage. Fortunately, fate had a different course of action.
Well, there is every possibility that the ship crashed and the remaining crew decided to continue the mission.
But if they're delivering to a completely separate continent, unless they go get a boat, and I don't know if any port cities. Is Drexoris a port town, Paloma? Oh. They must have very tiny boats. Unless they dragged it all the way there, and I feel like people would have. Their ship crashed how long ago? Like a week by this point now?
Yeah, probably approaching a week.
Which
I
is
feel like if
10 days.
10 days, yeah, that's correct.
I
Well-
feel like there would have been signs of them traveling, assuming Strexsource is the closest place, of them traveling there. I mean, Paloma, did you see anything in the cargo hold about the quote-unquote number 2 package?
Yeah,
You did.
I found an empty box
Well, if there,
So,
labeled number
if
two.
go
I
ahead.
may, Straxoris, although is maybe the nearest port, it's on the northern edge of Norbia. It could also be they went to Salsura on the southern end to go into Lake Phenorbia and then out through Histara. It's about the same distance.
I don't know. I feel like that'd be, at least me, if I was taking a very important package, I wouldn't risk going through the land, especially because I think Lake Phenorbia is partly part of Escapia, which is not the friendliest of places. But you said that you found the box labeled for the package, Paloma, but it was empty. So I highly doubt that the crew would take it out of the box and continue with it. So it seems like it was taken.
Aidan, you mentioned that there were tracks. Can we see which direction they're heading in?
You can make another investigation check. Pura 11 didn't get us too much, but it did give us that there are tracks. You did good, Jared.
Mason, want to clarify you?
Mhm.
Go ahead, Owens.
24.
24. Yes, there seem to be tracks leading both towards Sulsura and also towards Strux. Likely people that have raided the cargo hold after it landed. But so people have gone. It is not necessarily a quote unquote major road between Straxorus and Sulsura, but it is a that runs directly through the lines and goes. And so, people are traveling that road just like Dr. does on a pretty consistent basis, doing trade between the two cities.
As I was going to ask, anything we got from our level up won't apply until we take a long rest, correct? Any new abilities or such?
Technically, yes. Yes, of course, to raw, that would be correct. However, I'm just going to say that they apply now because it's okay.
Okay. Well, do you happen to find any traces of a person on that box, Paloma? Blood, fingernails, anything like that?
Did I?
You can go back and check.
Sure. So you-
Run back down to the
Guidance.
cargo hold and make an investigation check.
Okay. That's cocked. Onto the cock. 18.
18. Okay, not bad. Well, there are no signs of fingernails, hair, blood. You do see the smallest fabric where one of the hinges has been broken off. When you pull it off and investigate further, somebody was wearing a glove whenever they opened this container. Indicated whoever stole what was in that box knew it was on board and was doing so very carefully as to be tracked. But there's a small fragment where the glove has been torn off, and it's left in the hinge crease.
Okay. I guess I'll show it to everybody. It also means they probably knew that whatever was in the box was dangerous and shouldn't be handled. Like,
Rather, they didn't want to leave anything behind.
Well,
Less.
this is not exactly what I was hoping for, but I suppose it could help, or it would work for this. Unless anyone has something they want to do with this little piece of glove. I would like to spend 10 minutes to perform my Hunter's Gilmore ritual. Which at the end of 10 minutes, I can spend 10 minutes to perform. It consumes the offered evidence, physical evidence from a creature. Let's grab it up on the page. After the ritual, I can spend a minute examining the page to learn one of the following facts about a creature, and I would prefer to learn its current distance and direction from me, provided it's on the same plane of existence.
Can do that. After 10 minutes, you learn that they are not on the same plane of existence as you. Somebody plane shifted out of here with whatever was in that box.
And they are still shifted in. Damn it.
In that case, can I investigate this wreckage for any currently active spell effects that may be left behind?
Sure. Make an Arcana check.
Guidance.
Can I investigate for any alcohol?
That's crazy.
I will say you don't have to roll for that. There are no alcohol. There's no alcohol left on.
Already got looted.
It's
Dang.
already been broken, or has been. Worth an ask, though.
22.
Womp
22.
womp womp.
You have to get off the airship and kind of venture a little bit further away from the main path by about 150 feet or so past the clearing before you find the remnants of a plane shift circle that has been constructed that was used to vanish.
Remnants, but not a current active magic effect.
Not active. Just
Okay.
that lingering distortion of magical energy, but it's not currently working.
Is there any way to tell where they went?
Well, unfortunately, I was attempting to do that with my fancy book thingy here. I can only tell where it went if it's on the same plane. However, I am finding out that at least whoever wore these gloves is not on the same plane as us.
Not right now.
Yes,
I mean-
but
Surely they'd have
I
to
w-
come back to this plane eventually, right?
that's assuming
No.
they are from this plane.
Oh. Hmm.
If they just wanted to run away and get far away for a moment, I'd imagine they'd come back fairly soon. But it's been about a week since the ship crashed, so
Does
more likely than not, they got here, it went back to their original plane.
does your your ability tell you which plane, perchance?
Nope.
Hmm.
I can tell its current distance and direction from me, the creature, if it's on the same plane. Otherwise, I am kind of screwed. I don't believe it says anywhere that I can know its creature type and alignment, any names or aliases, its current distance or direction, if it's on the same plane, any vulnerabilities or flaws, whether or not it's wounded, or whether it's suffering from a condition, curse, or similar effect, as well as the nature of that effect. That's all I can do with it.
Yeah.
Cool building.
Well, fortunately, it seems that we're at a bit of a dead end.
Yep, indeed.
At the very least, I could get the person's name. I don't know how well that would help us, but it would be something.
It could help.
Names are always nice. Give us leads.
I suppose it's better than any of the other things.
Alright, I'd like to take another minute to learn any names, or its name and any aliases that that person has.
Sure. You identify the person as someone named Lyle Vicker.
Lyle Vicker. Why does Vicker sound familiar?
Because it's really
And you-
close to vigorant.
Yeah.
Does the name ring any bells
It does not.
for anybody?
It
Okay.
does not.
Does it-
Completely random for all of you.
I would say this is a stupid idea, but considering Ozin is not technically from this plane, at least to my knowledge, does that name sound familiar to him?
It does not.
Darn it.
Worth a shot.
Good are you, Ozin?
I'm
doing my best,
okay? I'm sorry.
Interesting.
Spill my coffee. Give me a second.
And Dan has died.
All right.
You insulted Ozin, and Ozin insulted you back.
Well,
I spilled my coffee.
what now?
Well,
Key reminder that both Cleogenorum and Mox here, they've been kind of just keeping an eye out for anybody, along with Owunul, who's also been keeping an eye out for any passersby. But the two of them approach all of you, the ship and the ground. So, just to fill me in, what exactly did you find?
Sizik found this manifest. Paloma found this box that we assume is holding, or previously contained, the second artifact, or something addressed as number 2.
Not much of a manifest.
Yeah, it's got like 5 words on it. Specifically, it mentions that Paloma and Sizik's mothers had either delivered the package that we're assuming is the number 2 to the airship to be delivered, or they were on the airship delivering the package. However, none of us really know how a manifest really works, so we're not quite sure. Do y'all have a clue?
You
Yes,
recognize
we-
any of the symbols?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. I don't know about Cleo over here, but we can both read the manifest if you'd like us to. That symbol, though, is one of the symbols of the Kilauean kingdoms. Specifically, the tower, the banner style, I should say, is a representation of one of the concords that basically it's a trade agreement between certain Kilauean kingdoms. I want to say that's the Central Coalition, but I don't quote me on that one. And then the lion, I believe, is a specific representation of the country of Eprajan. And of course, Paloma, you recognize Eprajan as Pajakeen is the capital of Rai, also located. And then Janorum takes a look at the manifest. It does seem that the cargo was delivered by. It's very unlikely, though, that they were on board. I mean, it was mostly just dropped off, most likely. That is typically what these indicate.
So it's more so this ship received from these two.
That is likely the correct answer, yes.
And I guess we know where we're heading.
Heading to.
I'm sorry, you want to head to Kilauea?
Why?
Well, considering that's where two people who know what the hell number 2 is.
Well,
Are?
maybe they don't. Maybe they just had a box labeled number 2. And they didn't look in it, and they don't know what it is.
With all due
what's the-
respect, Paloma,
What's the significance of number 2?
Well, after, Madame Janorum, you, started getting better, just at the beginning of your recovery, we stepped outside and confronted the Tony individual, who made mention that they were searching, not yet in possession of number 3, and number 2 would be in their possession soon. It is our belief that it is likely tied to the book.
Interesting. So perhaps that was a reference to this voyage as she gestures to the airship. Well, I highly doubt number 2 is in possession of them.
I'm sorry, could you?
You cut out.
said number 2
I highly-
isn't in their possession?
Likely not. If this voyage, this is all speculation, but if this voyage was taking this artifact labeled number 2 and transporting it to be quote unquote in possession of number 2 soon, it is likely that they never got number 2.
Well,
Well, unless
According-
they intended they were the ones who took it. Actually,
according to
if they're
the,
on the trade manifest, why would they raid their own ship?
Right, that is my own
Are they?
speculation.
I mean, haven't we been assuming that this symbol is their symbol?
Perhaps it was raided by a third party.
well, as Paloma said, I don't know anything outside this continent. The destinations and departing point on the manifest suggested that it should not have crossed into Phenorbia unless something like a hijacking happened and threw it off course. So to me, it sounds like this was being shipped to what was it called?
Hatan.
Agon's Vale, Hatan. Master Hatan.
It is possible that a voyage crossing the Day-Ridden Ocean would stop at a few other locations for making. Most places don't fly direct across the Day-Ridden Ocean. The voyage is too long; they have to dock, and a lot of places
Damn
stop for
layovers.
cargo. Kind of. If that was the case, they would have stopped first in Elatar Bay and then made their way to Agon's Vale. But
Exactly, they would have no reason to be over here.
No, that your point still stands. However, they would have entered at least a brief time. May give them a little credibility. Flew off course, just not nearly as far as thinking. However, not to play, Asmodeus' advocate, but they do sometimes private companies will ship things directly across the ocean. It is not unheard of, but it is a possibility they did stop in Elatar Bay, or were on the way to Elatar Bay.
Remind me for the Take Flight Festival assault. Did they steal those airships from the Skyport, or did they have those previously?
They stole them from the Skyport.
Hijacked them like just before, or like
they ran
in
into
advance?
the place, hopped on a thing, and started flying.
Yeah, that. Likely.
Like stealing from a car dealership.
Yeah.
Speaking from experience.
Yes, payday.
Yes.
I mean, we know they have people who can at least fly an airship. I don't know if they owned one, but considering
Looking
their
back at
operation-
the destroyed ship, clearly not.
Well, as far as we know, the Bright Shadow, or whatever the fuck the organization is they didn't fly this one.
Well,
But given their resources, I don't think it's unlikely they would have had a airship, because I don't see how else unless you could teleport onto a moving object like that, I don't see how else you would have been able to
there's other means
intercept
of
it.
flight.
Dragons.
I was referring to just magic in general, but okay.
Right.
Magic dragons.
From someone who practices teleportation on a regular basis, it is quite difficult to teleport onto a moving object, but it's not impossible. It's been done before. I've done it before. It just takes a great deal of concentration before jumping through. You said the artifact, this number 2, was aboard. Where is it now? I assume it's still here, so where did it go?
Hold up in the box.
Right. So any indication of where it could have gone?
Literally anywhere that's just not on this planet.
I tried tracking at least the individual who cut their gloves on the box. However, I can only track them if they are on this plane, and they are not on this
I
plane.
see.
There's remnants of a
Are you
plane
perhaps
shift.
able? Are you able to track people between planes? Or
No, I cannot. But what you said, there's a remnant of a plane shift.
just
So
out in the woods.
I have an ability. Well, Altrix definitely found evidence of plane shift.
Mm.
Okay, sorry, I didn't catch that part.
Can you show me where that area is? I'd love to take a look.
That's just over there.
She wanders into the forest a little bit. All of you, from a distance, hear her saying some incantations, some sigils appearing. Not an identify spell, but something along those lines, trying to read and ascertain what this exactly is. And she comes back after 10 minutes or so. I don't have an exact location, but it does appear that this would be a lower, which is never good.
Lower plane, as in one of the hells.
Well, that is a lower plane, but so is a number of other places too. So
Was one of the I cannot remember the names. There were 2 planes that I found
yes.
that related to the clay arm / Ozone.
Yeah, I believe it was Acheron and Guyana.
Those sound
And
familiar.
both of those are also lower planes.
Wait, why would they want to go to like the hells? Isn't that the place pure fire and crap?
Right. I think the speculation that Madame Janorum, sorry to cut you off, Cleo, is trying to make is that whoever took this clearly has evil and nefarious purpose to do with it, which is now
we knew
a
that when
larger
they
concern.
murdered the crew.
Right, but we thought this was just a physical realm that was the extent. But that is worse. All right, so we've lost the artifact. That is okay.
Well, we didn't lose it. We
not
never had it.
really. Genome, I know you said you couldn't find an exact plane, but are you able to tell how low-ish it goes? Like, is it?
How low do it go?
Because, okay, I guess it's kind of metagaming.
I understand what you're
ring.
asking. I understand what you're asking. Unfortunately, no. I cannot identify which particularly. There's not a particular hierarchy in terms of how low it goes. They're just negative energy planes. I don't have a key, and I used to do plane shifting, but I've had bad experience.
Well,
I try to avoid that.
I'm not too versed on planes. However, when doing some research on a group known as the Clay Arm, I was told by a friend that they are a very dangerous and not to be trifled with group. From my knowledge, they were either on or acted in one of the planes of, and I can't remember how to say those.
I believe it's
one of those
Acheron and Guyana.
Acheron, Guyana.
I could be totally mispronouncing this, but that's how I'm going to pronounce them.
They were perhaps on one of the planes, either Acheron or Guyana, which, to my understanding, is one of the lower planes, one of the hells. I'd rather not share all that information because I feel like some of it's not safe. Let's just say they are known for possessing ancient, powerful things. So, assuming they plane shifted, and as you said, to one of the lower planes, it's possible that group is responsible.
So we have this group that's above the Bright Shadow, with the man heading it. You have this Blue Moon group, or may not be a part of that, or a separate organization. And now a third group, the Clay Arm, coming from another plane, that also have powerful artifacts.
Allegedly.
Wonderful.
Nonetheless, it is alarming to see the number of vested in trying to ascertain and obtain all of these things.
But if I remember correctly, Tony had said that they had found number 1. I think it's safe to assume we have number 1. They located number 2.
Number 3.
I thought number 2 was they had located it or going to possess it, which number 2 is not here. I thought number 3 they were looking for, but did not know where it was.
They were looking into number 3 in Provenere. We've never heard anything about number 1.
Is that correct, Dungeon Lord?
That is correct.
So
technically, there could be more. We've only heard about 2 and 3.
Well, if there's 3, that would imply that there's a 1.
Well, yes, but there also could be a 4 that we don't know about. Or a 5, or a 10.
Sure, but I feel like that would just be needless pandering.
What?
Pandering's not the right word.
I don't think they are the ones who decide how many powerful artifacts there are.
It would seem very, very time wasting to have that many artifacts. I don't think there'd be that many.
Okay, that's fine.
Ignore me. It's a Rancor thought. But,
Speaks to himself in the third person.
It's a Rancor thought. So, is anything you think supposed to be ignored? I don't.
no, that's Owunul. Ouch.
Well,
Um, but that implies there's at least 3 artifacts, where priests presumably have at least 1.
yes.
2 has been taken to possibly one of the hells, or
Somewhere.
there is a small chance it's not, and whoever plane shifted just did that to collect it, and then it's given to someone else. Doubtful, but that's the thing.
That was going to be my next speculation. Is what if it would be possible that the person that stole this item is not the one that is in possession of it, which
Well,
could have just been
that's-
a hired mercenary that I don't know. I have no
Well-
evidence to support that theory, but that's
which
the idea, I suppose.
it's a possibility, but considering they'd go all the way through the effort of plane shifting, I feel like at that point they'd rather just keep it for themselves.
Well, not if they don't know what to do with it.
Fair enough, but there's at least a 3rd artifact that, at least according to our knowledge, that Tony had, isn't either acquired, or maybe it has acquired, but just wasn't part of a conversation. I think personally, it would probably be in our best interest to try and find this 3rd artifact quickly before whatever the groups are that want it are probably looking for it.
Now, I
However,
agree
have
with
no-
you that we should find this. The question is, where do we go to next?
well,
I also,
there
if I
is-
may, it may also be worthwhile to investigate what exactly this organization, as he gestures to the giant, tattered blue moon insignia on the side of the ship, what that is. What exactly organization we're up against. Is it some
Well, I thought you said that
small
that
collective?
was one of the countries.
The other one.
No, that's
in-
the lion.
The
Oh.
Lionhead is
Well,
that, yes.
I
Um,
could only assume that we could go to the destination where this group was likely waiting for it to be picked up, or we can go to where it was sent from, where they would know who they sold it to.
Nah, there's no point.
Why is there no point?
Well, because, like, they probably didn't even know what it was. They put it on a boat and it left.
You say
But the mighty
probably
assumption-
like there's a reason for you to assume that.
Well,
Maybe it's just wishful thinking.
it might
Yeah.
not be totally unfounded to think that, because I feel like if they knew what they were what they were delivering, they'd probably have a little more defense than does the airship have any like cannons, ballista, stuff like that?
No,
Or is it like
it's completely
pure
a merchant
cargo?
vessel. Yeah, pure cargo vessel.
Unless they were trying to go incognito and be less detected, or I'd imagine I think it'd be wiser to have a fleet or some sort of defenses. This ship looks not defendable in the slightest, so it is possible that
I
their parents
agree.
didn't know.
Could it
what they
be-
were
I mean, we were working with like a secret organization, so who knows how many secret organizations there are. Maybe
Yes.
this is something related to that. I don't
Just
think
the-
just saying, "Oh, they probably don't know," is a good reason not to go investigate.
Well, sure. But I feel like try and narrow our options down before just trying to go to a completely separate continent.
Of course, of course.
Genorum, how familiar are you with the plane? I know you're not. You said you played it in the past, but are you familiar with what some of the planes represent and whatnot?
Yes, I am well versed in the representation of the outer planes. I don't
Do you-
study much into them, but part of my training.
It's a stupid thought, but do you know of any of the lower planes that are related to the moon or a blue moon specifically, perchance?
No, I don't think so. If there was something related, it would likely be one of the inner planes, but even that would be part of a stretch. I mean, the only blue moon that we have is Felro, but it's just blue. Is there any other coincidence? I don't know.
Do you know
and-
if it's a crescent moon specifically, that symbol, correct?
Yes. Moons go through phases.
Well,
So
do
it's
you know if
possible.
I know there's a million different cultures and stuff across Aletheia itself, but do you know of any groups, people that have a celebration or some sort of event that goes on during a crescent moon of Pharaoh, you said?
Felro.
Felro.
Yes, the second larger moon. Yes. No, not on my immediate recollection. This would be a good time for Professor Arcaletz to do some historical recollection.
Do you have sending?
I can send him a sending.
Do I
Ask him
have
to
any?
investigate.
Do I have any memory of nothing like rituals or anything? That
Make a
happened
history
with the
check
moon?
or a religion check. I'll let you pick.
Can I give him guidance? Or no?
Probably not for this one.
Okay.
Golly,
Golly!
I rolled the same thing again.
Oh gee.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Oh,
right?
shucks.
It's not gonna help you. It's a 7. Yeah.
You have no idea.
So,
Uh,
even with guidance, it wouldn't have helped.
No. Dang, that's 2 different
So-
dice.
all right. So Cleo can send a message to Arcaletz to start looking into this symbol. See what he finds. And I know you are all keenly aware of this, but Janorum and I will not stay with you and your group forever. As whoever is out there is like, we feel like we are putting you in harm's way, being here. At least, not in the middle of the
I
woods.
feel like
being
we've already
in
put
nature
ourselves in
civilization.
plenty of harm's way at this point.
Yes, but better to divert their interest and their. If we can leave your presence, perhaps we can draw attention away from us. I don't necessarily disagree with Paloma's point that we could go to either Pajakin or to Agensvale. Though my one note, just in my experience with that type of investigation, one, we're totally out of jurisdiction. Of course, we're out of jurisdiction at every point. But also, what awaits you there could be a hostile situation. Not that should necessarily deter you, but it should be something that you take into account.
That's a fair point. So let's look at our current options. Stay here in Phenobia and try and investigate the rest of this group. I have a feeling the Bright Shadow, her group, was slightly separated from the rest of the group, but they all work together similarly. But we could stay here and try and investigate that. Hopefully find either who's keeping the book or the artifact or where it might be. Or we could travel south to Hotan to
Agensvale.
Agensvale. I was trying to pull it up. Go to Agensvale where it was supposed to be where the artifact was supposed to be delivered, and hope we don't get slaughtered or imprisoned for asking about it, because I have a feeling if we go there, we don't have allies, we don't have anything. Assuming the Chancellor would let us fly down there on her airship, that could give us a little bit of bargaining power, considering we'd be her allies. But outside of Phenorbia. I don't know how much weight that would carry. Or we could go to Kilauea. Was that it? Kilauea, where the other place
Yep.
is? Or we go to Kilauea, where you and Sizik are from, correct?
Yeah. I don't think that's
Well-
necessary, though.
Do you just not want to go home, or?
No, I just think it would be a waste of time. You know?
And why is that?
Well, if your parents are in Kilauea, assumedly, and they were the ones who ordered this to be shipped, because to your knowledge, are y'all's parents high-ranking, important individuals, or are they just
No.
your parent? Well, so then considering
I'm-
they approved this mission of sorts or whatnot, they clearly have more power than you might think.
I'm so sorry. I'm terribly confused. Why are you talking about Paloma's parents? What is the relevance to what we're
'Cause-
discussing?
Well,
They're on the
her
map,
mother and
yes.
Sizik's mother and her mother are listed as
Oh, those are those names.
Hmm.
yes.
I see. I thought
so,
Lightfoot sounded familiar.
So, if they were able to give this kind of permission to move this artifact, they have to have some sort of standing to have that kind of power. So, questioning
Paloma.
them on it
Hmm.
would probably.
Could we talk privately for a moment?
Sure. Can someone watch Sizik? Altrix. No.
Yeah.
Altrix, will you watch Sizik?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll do that.
Thanks.
Damn.
And she just still invisible in eyesight for everybody, but just walks off a little bit out of listening distance. I know you don't know me very well, but it does seem to me that you are afraid of finding out something about your parents you didn't know. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Maybe. But, like, you know, I just don't want to go across the ocean and have it be a waste of everybody's time. And a waste of your magic. And, you know.
And I think that's a very respectable.
And it's like, you know, what if we get over there and all of a sudden you can't teleport us back? And we have to spend another, like, 3 months on the ocean. That'd be it.
I'm not saying your worry isn't justified. I do think though there is a subliminal fear that you're hiding beneath the surface. If I may pry a bit into your past. Firstly, from someone who knows very little of their past, I'm talking of myself. I've always been curious as what happened. There are, I would say days, but truth be told, there are many years of my life, no record. I don't remember who my family is. I don't know. I've always wondered, not that I should project that onto you, but if I was in your shoes, I would take.
If you were in my shoes, you would what?
I would take it upon myself to find out anything I could about past. I know it is frightening. I'm sure there are reasons to be afraid, and
Well,
it is entirely possible that you might find you are hoping you will not find.
this has nothing
But
to
also-
do with my past, because clearly it's happened. Something happened in the last 7 years, and so it has nothing to do with me because I wasn't there.
Right. That's fair. But then why are you afraid?
I don't know.
if you don't wish to go to Kilauea, I will not force you to, even if your group suggests that you should.
What's even the point of investigating this at this point, right? Like, now we're dealing with other planes, and this is way more than we are getting paid for, or were getting paid for, because we're not getting paid anymore, because you don't work for the government, and you can't pay us.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, we can still pay you.
That does make me feel better, actually, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can still pay you. Just not on a government salary. More of a private company, but...
It's just... I don't want them to have anything to do with this.
Of course not. Of course you don't want them to do anything with it.
And
I would be afraid too.
I'd rather just work under the assumption that they didn't have anything to do with it, and not involve them.
Okay. I understand that. But remember, and I speak from experience, sometimes the longer you hold on to a false, the more shattering reality comes when you find out the truth. But we can assume, at least for now, that they maybe just loaded a box into a ship, and that was the end of it. We can assume they didn't know what they were transporting. That's okay. I understand, and I'm not going to force you to confront that if you don't wish to.
And I don't want to make the decision without Sizik, and he's really out of it right now. It's almost like he's not even here.
Yeah, he does seem awfully still. Well, I don't know how much longer you wish to travel with Mox and myself, but we can stay around for a few more days if you'd like to wait to make that decision.
I'll think about it. Thanks.
Okay. All right, and then the two of you will walk back to the group. Well, we can stay for a few extra days if you require Mox and I to do so. We don't have to leave exactly right now, but the longer we stay with you, the higher the risk becomes. So, not that you need to make a plan at the moment. What is our immediate? Are we headed next? Highly doubt you want to just stay here for a week at this crashed site.
Well, considering those guys we poisoned with pickles are probably still on their way here, we should probably at least get out of here.
Right. And where to?
I guess... at least right now, it seems that two choices are back to Straxorus or to Salsura. Either way, I don't think any of them are particularly calling us. In terms of long-term goals, I would think either heading to Kilauea and investigating where it was sent from, heading to
Hotan.
Agonsvale, or perhaps heading to Elatar Bay. You know, perhaps if they stopped there, maybe that's where the takeover force perhaps boarded, hit on, if they did stop there.
Should we go to Salsaurus for now and then kind of make a bigger plan?
I suppose we could take Glufagurkin back to Straxorus.
No, we don't have to.
Will he
Tell you
pay
what.
us?
we, as he gestures to Cleo and himself, we can investigate Agonsvale. That is a place to go to keep us out of suspicion a little bit. And we'll let you know if we find anything. Perhaps it is wise to approach the problem from a different angle. There are other questions we have. There are things we could look into, such as the binds of rhyme, such as... He leans in really quietly. Akadon.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Would there be any part of that in Agonsvale?
Unlikely. Always thought Akadon was in a place that was cold. That was our leading hypothesis.
Wonderful.
Right. Anyway. Places to consider. I know. Actually, I'm trying to remember if you guys talked to him about going to Parentera.
Not really.
Okay. Alright, he won't say that though, because he doesn't know that. Right. So you guys and gals can make a plan. And we'll, I suppose, join with you back to Straxora, and then after we will depart ways.
All right. Let's get back to it.
Right. All right. Did anybody find the doctor?
All right.
I'm not looking
A
for him.
pickle over here. Yes, give me.
He's gonna get eaten by a pickle.
I'm gonna cast. No.
Fireball.
Yeah. I don't have it. Still, don't care casting it. Go off, figure I can.
Wheel.
Yes. What a pickle.
No, thank you. We're gonna head back to Straxorus now.
Okay, I've gathered up quite a few pickles. I think I've got enough of a stock to last me for a week or so.
A week or so. Oh,
Maybe two.
How many pickles do you sell a day?
Oh, the children love the pickles.
That was not
Very
my
many.
question. Like, do you have a
That's
number?
not suspicious at all.
Why don't you just
Oh.
bring some seeds and grow them?
5, maybe 6.
5, maybe 6
100?
pickles.
I'm betting nickels and dimes. The
How many?
kids.
Roughly, how many people did I see in Straxorus?
The population is 850.
All right, either this man cannot count, or there is a eldritch being that is consuming pickles at a rate which is unfathomable.
Eldritch
Yes.
pickle monster.
It's the Rock. The mayor loves
It's
pickles.
it's the
Just
rock.
keeps feeding pickles to the rock. He can't stop because he doesn't have arms.
A fate worse than death.
Oh no.
All right, let's head back to Straxorus with the rock man in charge.
It'll be okay, Altrix.
Why do you sound so pained?
It makes no sense to me.
I don't know what makes no sense about having a mayor. Every town has a mayor.
Your mayor's
Well-
a rock.
First of all,
Well, he's a
no,
A talking rock.
not every town has a mayor. My issue is not that you have someone in charge. It's that you had a person who apparently founded your village, was revered, was then bound into stone to live out the rest of his days unfeeling, unmoving, unable to do anything. Like
He's not
a
unmoving.
treatment you give unto the worst of criminals,
Whenever it rains,
and
we
then
move him
you
into the
put him in
shelter.
charge? You have damned his soul to
Absolutely
be forever
true.
bound into the mortal plane. I don't understand.
He seems happy.
I think
Is
he's
he
gone
happy?
mad.
Yeah, is he happy or has he gone mad? I'm gonna be honest.
He
That's a
doesn't
good
have
question.
hands, Paloma.
He doesn't need him. He's a rock.
He sits in the same place. How long has he been there?
Well, like I said, whenever it rains or something, we move him into the mayoral shelter.
He's in a glass box.
Yeah. And he gets,
How
and then he
long
goes around
has-
town whenever we have parades. We carry him around. You know, he gets to move.
Has he been asked if he wants to die?
I know what I'm asking
Because,
him.
like, again, if he was a terrible person, then, go ahead, screw him, bind him forever in his torment. That's what you do with him. But it sounds like he wasn't that bad a guy.
We're walking and talking.
Yes.
Sure.
So
Totally fine.
Look, all I'm gonna
Totally
say
fine.
is maybe we should ask him. Let's see if maybe we could do him a favor if he wants to die.
What?
That'd be an interesting ceremony.
Don't kill the mayor.
Hey,
is he even
Who wrote
technically
the show?
alive?
someone else?
Anyone could do it.
No, not anyone could do it. Truly, it's actually probably there are people who are not set to be good leaders.
Yeah, and he's a good leader. Most people think.
Yeah.
Most.
What does he
people.
do?
He's the mayor. He does what mayors do.
And what is that?
I don't know.
Are there any laws
I'm
in
not
your
aware.
town?
Is there any
Like,
rules
is
in your
murder
town?
illegal in your town, or is it actually legal because just no one does it?
Can you touch the rock?
That's a great question, Mason. We have not discussed that. Who's allowed to touch the rock?
Only a select number of people are allowed to move Mayor Straxor the Fourth.
No, I'm not allowed to touch him, but his council is.
What's the
His
last?
council?
Well, he has
What's-
his inner circle, and they're the ones that move him, and the ones that walk him around during festivals and stuff like that.
And is that all they do?
Don't know.
Question:
he's
Has his
just
voice
a
stayed the
figure.
same the entire time?
It was the same the whole time I was there.
Okay.
So is he just a figurehead? And
No,
then
he's
this
a rock.
council- Well, yeah, but he's just a
Don't-
puppet.
I don't know. Why would
Sounds
I
like
know
we
these
could-
things?
How?
Because you lived in town.
It's
so
not
you're
that
common.
we're okay if you don't know. It's the fact that you're okay with this.
I mean, it was a little bit weird at first when we first showed up. It was like, oh, there's a rock, but then I met him and he seems like a cool dude. And
So what happens if you take the rock and say dropped it in a lake? Would it die?
I don't know. I don't think anyone's ever done that. Why would
Yeah,
you do that?
it's a rock. It doesn't have a nervous system. He cannot feel. So can he drown?
Again,
Can he talk
clue.
underwater?
No idea. We move him when it rains, and that's all I know.
But why do you move it when it rains? Maybe
he
that's
doesn't like
the key.
being rained on.
The
Well,
water.
the rain might crack the rock.
I
But
see.
you said he's in a glass box. He can't be rained on.
Right. So then what's
Okay, you said he was in a glass box.
Someone told me he was in a glass box.
He is in a glass
Okay.
box.
What
So
if
maybe
it
Doesn't
rain
like the
is his
sound of the rain,
weakness,
I guess.
or water could be his his death.
I don't know why y'all are so intent on killing the mayor. That feels like a great way to get in trouble.
I feel like I don't want him dead. I'm just trying to figure out why he is both treated as a criminal and in charge.
I don't think he's treated as a criminal. I mean, if he really wants
He
this,
chose
it's
to be
not
in the
him.
rock. I don't know. I wasn't there. It was like
Why
a
would you
long time
choose to
ago.
be in the rock? Have your
What if-
spirit forever
Yeah, I
trapped?
actually do. I will say, will agree. I don't know why anyone would choose to be rocked for the rest of their lives. That sounds awful.
Maybe he was
Maybe
like
we could ask
old
him.
and dying, and instead of dying, he decided to be a rock.
That
Forever.
and he hasn't regretted that decision yet?
I never asked
You
him.
just gotta ask him.
Altrix, maybe this is a conversation for you to have with the mayor.
I tried to talk to him and he snubbed me, so I don't.
Hmm.
Maybe he just gave up. Maybe he didn't like your vibes.
I don't. Oh, we forgot Sizik. We gotta go back.
You forgot Sizik?
Just gotta go back
What?
and pick him up.
Turn around to find that Dr. Glafagurkin is handing pickles to calm him down.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
And
You know, after what those pickles did to Owunul, I don't know if we should be letting him feed pickles to.
Yeah, I'll
I-
take him.
Okay.
Just picks him up like a cardboard cutout.
Yeah.
These are anti-cortisol pickles. They're very good for your health.
What?
Those do not. Some of these things should not be pickles.
They're stress-relieving pickles. I promise. They're safe. I think.
Yeah.
The studies are still in development.
Oh my god.
As an inventor and alchemist myself, I know that you can never promise that anything magical is safe.
It's not magical. It's alchemical.
That
That's
is
the-
magic.
That's the same thing.
No. No. Alchemical is chemicals. Magic is energy. In
Yeah.
a different capacity.
But chemicals are they use magical ingredients.
Not always.
Yeah.
You must have not studied your chemistry very good. I have a PhD in pickology.
Have you ever combined pickles with alcohol?
Yes.
It's actually a
That's
very
my
common thing. Pickle
That's my
shots.
famous, pickle cocktail.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do
They're
you
very
have
good.
any pickle cocktails?
Do you have any alcohol?
Yes, I do.
Well, then sure, let's make a pickle shot. Well, how about we wait, though, until we make camp for the evening?
All right. Another 5 days.
Grueling
Yes.
5 days.
I'll roll the
Yeah.
first d20.
Pura, that evening for camp, you and Dr. Gluffer can enjoy several shots together.
Pickle shots. Nice.
Again,
They're
it's
super
the
good, by the way.
half alcohol, half pickle juice.
Yeah, basically that. Although Dr. Gluffergurken's combination is, in fact, 100% pickle juice and 100% alcohol. It is
50-50.
it's completely impossible that even makes any sense, but that's what he tells you.
No, that isn't possible. You could if you
I
pour
don't
a
think, no,
content
this
of
man
100
does not
alcohol
understand
into
math.
a pickle.
He's getting numbers wrong. He's saying he is selling 500 pickles a day.
60%.
The children love the pickles.
60% of the
First,
time,
we
it
have not
works
seen
every
him
time.
sell a single pickle. He's handed them
You've been-
out
For free.
exclusively.
You've been traveling with him.
But
I
he's
look
also
over-
given them to strangers.
I'll
Yeah.
Paloma. I feel like you should. I feel like this guy is not good for your town.
Not my choice. I don't even live there anymore.
Mm,
He showed up since I left. He wasn't there when I was there.
Yes, I started my pickle business like a year ago.
Can I do a nature check on these plants? These
Sure.
pickle plants.
Sure, absolutely.
I want to see what bastardization of wizardry has created these abominations in nature.
Mason, while he's doing that, what day is it?
It is still where we left off, which is. Hold on for a second. It is still the 12th of Blyrith.
I am rolling like crazy today. That's a 27.
27. You walk over to one of the pickle vines, which is again growing up the trunk of this pine tree, and then it kind of wraps around some of the branches, and then as it kind of hangs off, there are just pickles, fully grown pickles that are already just hanging there. And when you pluck one, you notice that the plant kind of recoils a little bit, as it's like hypersensitive to any type of stimulation. And with your with such a high roll, you actually know that one of the pickle vines is actually kind of like reaching down, and it's almost going to grab you before you step back. It seems that they don't particularly like having their pickles taken, but Dr. Gloffergerkin has taken hundreds of pickles off of them and seems to be doing just fine.
Okay. Can I also cast, just to see if I could try it, spell signature on
Yeah.
the plant?
Absolutely. Yes, this is some kind of transmutation magic that is at play on these plants.
Well, that's detect magic. I'm doing spell
I know.
signature.
It's not a spell exactly.
Okay.
So the only thing I can give you is it's just it's transmutation magic that is at work.
Well, it's choose a magical effect I'm aware of.
the pickles. That is the magical effect you're aware of.
Well, that's that's just it. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't get to make like the check.
No, that's it.
Okay.
The magical pickles
I
are
guess.
the magical pickles are beyond comprehension.
I take the pickle I have plucked and throw it as far as I can.
Okay. Okay.
Fetch.
Not the pickle! And Dr. Glafagurkin runs off.
Quick. While
I
he's
am going
distracted.
to. Can I make a religion check to pray that he gets eaten by a
Oh
plant?
my god.
You have to believe in the gods in order to pray to them. So
I'm praying
no,
to
you
the spirits of
cannot.
the forest.
Okay. Yeah, you can sure make a religion check.
Guidance.
Religion.
I give you guidance for this shit.
Oh, guidance. Where the hell's religion? Okay, there. Alright, so
In the distance. Rah, rah.
so that's
On a
15.
okay, on an exact number that I had already picked in my head. If you had rolled that, then he would have died, but you did not roll that, so it's okay.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say he dies
On a 15, he dies. Yeah, no. He comes back. He comes back and has dusted the pickle off and is like halfway through eating it. You don't throw the pickles on the ground. That's disrespectful.
Okay.
The pickle vines work very hard to supply me with these pickles.
Paloma, hold my siphon. I'm going in the siphon.
Okay.
What's
Ooh, what's this? Is this a pickle machine?
Oh.
How did he?
don't touch
How'd you
that.
get your hands on it? What the fuck?
He just snags
I
it
blinked
out of
and he had
Paloma's
it.
hand.
Paloma, I saw you hold it. You were holding it very well. Also, bam, he just has it. What the fuck?
It's like it disappeared out of my hands.
I am prepping to rig this thing to blow if he keeps.
Tick.
If it's not a pickle machine, then I'll leave it alone.
Okay.
Hands
Man
back to
sees
below.
a device, immediately asks, "Is this a pickle machine?"
Is this a pickle machine?
How many
What is
how many
this?
pickles can you get in a day?
Are you asking Dr. Gloffiger or
Yes,
me as
yeah,
the dungeon
Dr.
master?
Coffin.
Well, that depends on the day, but usually I gather 200 or so in a good day's work.
Okay, would you be interested in selling these pickles, especially with the juice?
Of course, that's my whole business.
You gather 200 a day, but you sell 600 a day?
Yep, that's correct.
You're
Can I
gonna
do an
run
insight check
out.
to determine this man's intelligence?
Sure.
Oh,
It's gonna be 40.
I was joking. Bet. Let's go.
Can you send pickles to Provenere?
Fuck. Damn it. I'm at 12.
I could. I don't have any way to get them there, but are you asking for a franchise, young man?
Sure, something like
man.
that.
All right.
If you go to Provenere and you establish like a pickle shot stand, I will supply you with alcohol.
Interesting. I'll have to contemplate your offer and talk with my business associates.
Okay.
In the siphon. What associates?
Pickles.
Bro brings the whole forest.
Uproots
calling it
pickle,
now.
pop the moves to Promenade.
I'm calling it now. Dr. Glapagurkin is a warlock, and his patron is the pickle.
I'm gonna write that down.
Oh my god.
No.
Damn it.
What have you done? Well, at least
Quick,
we now have.
someone
At
shut off
least
his
I now
Wi-Fi.
know my backup character. Pickle Warlock.
Oh my god.
I have to make a pickle patron.
Just does a bunch of acid damage.
Is it like a pickle god?
Half of the pickles.
What if I have created a new deity in Mason's
Yep.
world?
I'm gonna create it. Eldritch being called the
My
pickle
backup
patron.
character. I have my backup character is a just it's gotta be an artificer that does radiation stuff.
I'm gonna ask the doctor if he's upset that he'll miss Strexor's day.
Oh, am I going to miss it?
Yeah. We'll get there like
Oh.
2 days after it happens.
Oh no. I was going to sell so many pickles to the children. We must go at once. I have to be there.
If he casts dimension door on us and teleports.
Funny enough, you should say that. He starts taking pickles out of his bag and starts carving runes on them and laying them on the ground.
I am going to
Oh,
come out of the
fucking
siphon and think about the 5 days we walked here.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and leave. If anybody wants to come with me, I'll just jump us there.
You'll jump us there?
Yep.
All of
You
us?
could have done that at any time?
No, but yes, I have to collect the pickles.
But why didn't we? We've been walking for like 10 hours today.
Right, I didn't have enough pickles yet.
What do you mean you didn't have enough pickles?
It takes a lot of pickles to create a spell like this.
Does it? You
Yes.
pulled out one pickle.
How many pickles are on the ground?
Like 30.
You could get that in 2 minutes.
But I have to save them for my stock supply.
Let's just go.
How does this even work?
Altrix,
Let's
get back
just-
in the siphon. You just. Don't
This
worry
is a
about it.
pickle portation circle. It's a 5th level spell. It's teleportation circle. And if all of you are willing to go, he will in fact back to Straxorus.
Sure.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I will go with.
Okay. You and you appear in the back of his shop, where there are pickles everywhere. All over the place.
Immediately out the door, no hesitation.
Yep. Evadin also leaves immediately.
You have a great night.
Okay. I'll look for that one building that is meant for large people.
Absolutely.
The one tavern.
You sure you're gonna pay to stay there when like you can stay for free? You don't have to pay.
Where?
Where?
At Sizik and my house. Or
I'm gonna
his
look-
grandma's house?
I'm going to look over 3 buildings to y'all's house
You know,
where
there's
the
no
door
way you are
comes to
tall
my
enough
way.
to look over 3 buildings, okay? You are
I mean,
6
the
feet
buildings
tall.
are
Paloma
eye level.
No, they are not. Paloma is 3 feet tall. An average person, buildings are like 10 feet tall, okay? So maybe the buildings are like 8 feet
The floors
tall.
are about 5 feet.
Okay, yeah, so if it's a 2-story
He's on his
building, it's still
tippy toes.
10 feet. You can't look
Yeah.
over the buildings.
Okay. All right. If there's 2 floors, then fine.
It
But
just
I'm
happens
gonna look
they're all one-story buildings, and you're
And
looking
see the
directly in.
door that comes to about my chest.
Fine. You can go
I
stay there.
appreciate the offer. But there's a bit of a problem where you only have 1 floor in your house now.
Yeah, that's a good point. But you made the ceiling taller.
I mean, again, it's now a single-story house for 8 of us.
Okay. I'm just trying to save
10
money.
with Madame Janorum and or Mox.
We're gonna go to that building over there. Get some rooms.
Yeah, I'll go with them. Do we walk by the mayor on our way?
You do.
Hey.
Insight check.
What for?
Does this man crave the sweet release of death?
We'll see. Go ahead.
I give you a guidance. Can I help?
It's not gonna matter.
Can I
No.
help action?
No help, action.
Ah.
It's not gonna matter, but I will say the total is 8.
You look at his face, and a stone cold answer greets you.
Fuck you.
I cast.
Shoot that man.
Cast catapult. Cast it on this
I'm
rock.
gonna cast chromatic orb acid damage to this motherfucker.
It's in a glass case. I mean,
And
sorry.
it's acid.
You can try. Nonetheless, you follow Cleo Denor walks to the Lantern Light Ranch, which is a normal people-sized inn housing the large folk. You are greeted, however, by a heron guy, an innkeeper, who's standing on a very short desk. Yes, I am Thalor. How can I help you this evening? Do you wish to stay here? How large is your party?
-2 for Sizik and Paloma.
+2 for Mox
so-
and Janorm.
Yeah, 8.
8.
Right, okay. And how many would you like to put in a room?
How many rooms do you have?
Quite a few.
How much are the rooms per? How much is the room per night?
3 silver pieces for a room. But that's
4
the
rooms.
smallest size room. That'll fit maybe 2 people. We have larger suites available if you'd like them.
I will pay 3 silver for a room to myself.
Very well.
I will
Here is
also
your
pay
room.
3
Just-
silver for a room to myself.
Here you go, ma'am. Here's your room key.
I guess I'll also get a room to myself.
Yeah, Mox and Dorm also buy their own rooms.
Uh,
And then he just is staring at you, Rancor. And what about you, sir?
Owens, what's the weather like?
It's a little foggy outside, a little bit overcast, but
It's
all right.
Chance of rain.
what am I, a meteorologist now?
I don't know. What are you?
They have a weather
Sword.
rock outside.
It's the rock. It's if the rock is wet, it's raining.
I don't know
If
what
the
the
rock
It's exactly that. On the side of the building, they have a rock on a string.
That was a joke.
No, that's exactly what it is.
Was that actually what it is?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
I know.
Not
Okay.
the mayor.
Yeah.
It's a different
Oh,
rock.
The mayor's
gosh, I
cousin.
guessed.
I'm gonna walk outside and do a perception. How many rocks are just littered around in place of things that should be other things?
Only a few. But
A few?
If rock gone, tornado.
yeah, if rock shaking, earthquake,
Is
yes.
the Rock Mayor still outside?
He's back in the square. Y'all travel to the south side of
Okay.
Straxor.
Did he have any guards?
He did not have any guards.
Y'all.
So he's
Also,
just.
your camera's off.
Oh yeah, I know. It's just him in a glass case, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
I would like to go out to
You're
the
do what we
weather
all want to
rock.
do.
I want to touch it.
Do you go out there?
Yeah, I think I will. I'm gonna
Okay.
take a couple sips.
Sure. You find Mayor Waylon Straxor, the Rock, on a pedestal encased in glass in the middle of the Straxor Square.
Hello.
There is no response.
Are you even alive? Or are you just a rock?
Change your music to.
Suspense.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Again, there's no response.
Can I is anyone else with me, or is it just by myself?
Anybody else in the party go, or did you just let
No.
purely?
Can I
Yes,
want
I
to? If I saw, would we have seen him leave? Or did he tell us that he was going to go to the rock?
I probably would have been like, I'm gonna go. Yeah, you know what? I was really interested in the rock, so I would have probably told Joe.
I'm gonna go, but I want to do it stealthily.
Okay.
So, yeah. I don't know if you want me to roll stealth or not, or just say
Yeah, against Pura's passive, which is 17, right, Jared? Your passive perception.
Passive. It's like 14.
Oh, I thought it was higher. But well.
So I have to roll a nat 1.
Basically.
I did not roll a nat 1.
Oh, okay.
But for Mason's purposes, in case anyone else is watching, that is a dirty 20.
I don't think anybody's passive is higher than that, so you are in the shadows of the square, looking at Pura.
I didn't think that any of else would be watching. I mean, if the rock has a passive perception above 20.
Rock's passive perception is 50 million, but he sees us all.
It has blind sense of the town.
Yep, basically.
Did I ever see the rock talking last time?
No.
So I have no idea.
All of you heard it in your head, though.
Oh.
But that was the only time.
Okay. I guess I'm going to approach the glass.
Okay.
Going to place my hands on the glass.
Okay.
Dex save.
Anything happen?
No.
Okay, I'm going to lift the glass. Does it budge?
Yeah, it's just on there. You can just take it off.
Okay, I'm going to touch the rock.
Okay, how many hit points do you have?
What? 51.
Okay.
What?
Okay, hold on.
Immediately power word kill.
That'd be so mean. Because
You're
Mason knows.
fucking die.
I think a new character as I touch the rock.
Yeah, that is exactly 102 points of damage. Pura is immediately killed.
I pull out the chatter crystals. Y'all, Pura died.
The king explodes.
Okay, not bad. Not bad. You take 48 points of necrotic damage.
Oh wait, necrotic?
Yes.
Alright. Okay.
48, actually. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty low for the dice that I rolled.
Man touches a
Was
rock,
that-
goes immediately.
So what I'm hearing is get some tongs and throw them at the BBEG.
Oh wait, I have resistance to necrotic, so is that's just
Oh,
half,
hell
right?
yeah.
You have resistant? Okay, so you take 24.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
And then
assume you would-
a voice immediately in your head. God forsake you! I'm trying to sleep.
Sorry.
Put me back down.
Okay.
Thank you. Now put the glass back on.
Okay. Can you would you like some whiskey as a
No.
I'm sorry. Okay. I take. Oh. I'm gonna take the whiskey or my flask.
Is Pura drunk right now?
Probably.
Yeah,
When is he not
after
drunk?
all,
Can
like,
I?
That's a
Can
pickle shot.
I want to use minor illusion to make it look like the rock grows a hand and flips him off.
Sure.
I'm sorry. Here, take some whiskey. I'm gonna pour it on.
You're just gonna pour whiskey on him?
Yes.
Drown the rock?
Pour whiskey.
Okay. Nothing happens.
Okay. Then I take the glass and put it back on him.
It's just gonna be covered in whiskey now. It's sticky. They're gonna know.
Only if they touch him.
And then I guess I go back to the inn.
Evadin, you watch as there are 4 Harengon men in leather armor with spears that are like they approach Pura. Hey, what you doing there, buddy?
I just wanted to touch the rock.
Nobody touches the rock.
No one told me that.
But he did that.
Yeah, you're an nincompoop then.
Okay, I'm just gonna go back to the inn now.
Yeah, I don't think so. What'd you do to him?
He looked thirsty, so I gave him a drink.
He's a goddamn rock.
Who knows? Well, I didn't know that. Maybe he was thirsty.
Are you blind?
No. Are you?
They're gonna stab you. What's your AC?
16?
Okay. That's gonna be 1 hit, 1 miss. For a total of 3 damage.
How like big are
What you're
these
telling
guys?
us is that if we wanted to commit murder, it'd be really
They're
easy.
a little bit bigger than Sizik.
Like,
All half your height.
can I try to kick one? The one that stabbed me?
I mean, you can.
Okay.
Sure.
Damn it, he's gonna get drunk and fight.
Fucking rude.
They stabbed me.
him.
You assaulted the mayor.
I
He
gave
punched
him
the
a
mayor.
drink.
That would actually constitute as assault.
What would I? Is that just an unarmed attack for a kick or?
Yes, it's an unarmed attack. That's correct.
Okay.
But Aaron going, oh no.
I'm just gonna cocked. Okay. Um. See, does an 11 hit?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Oh no.
Does he fly back or anything?
What is your strength score?
My strength score.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. That's just 16 for strength.
16. Okay, yeah, he gets punted back by like 10 feet or something. Just
Damn.
land on the ground. It is then that you hear the click of some arcane devices behind you. Evident. See, Dr. Gloffiger can come out. He's changed out his glasses with like darker shades. Looks like Secret Service now. I always knew this day would come.
He's part of the Secret Service for this damn mayor.
Yes, yes, he is. Why do you think his shop is so close?
So funny.
Hands up.
What's going on?
Yeah, you clean the mayor off right now before I have to use pickles on you. He's got like a vat on his back full of pickles and pickle juice, and then he's basically holding like a bazooka with a tube that connects to it. Could be a flamethrower too, but
Pickle thrower.
Watching this from the window, just slowly close the blinds.
Sure.
I'm just watching. I'm just sitting there in the shadows watching this shit just go down.
I think I'm going to try to run towards the end
You're gonna run away?
and run away. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna fire pickle shots at you.
He's
Not
taking
the kind
pickle
that-
shots again.
Pause.
Not the kind that you want.
I'm gonna fire pickle shots at you. Is the set
I'm
words
gonna-
you just said?
Yes. All right. That's gonna be a 24, a 29,
For hit.
a
Yeah,
18,
holy.
and a 17.
I guess those all hit.
Great. Sounds good to me.
Am I dead?
Uh,
Did I just die by pickles?
All right. Yeah. Just pickles just shoot out like a machine gun. Just. Let me roll damage. All right. That's going to be from all 4 shots combined. That's going to be 18 points of piercing damage, and 11 points of acid damage.
You mean 18 points of pickle
Oh.
damage?
Yeah, pickle damage.
I
Irreducible.
guess I am severely injured.
Okay, Pura stumbles to the ground. Yeah, you come back here and you clean off the mayor before I gotta kill you.
Okay.
How far did
I
he
guess-
get to the tavern?
Not even close. Didn't
took,
even
like,
leave the square.
He probably just turned to run and immediately got fucking Gatling
Pickled.
down. He got
Yeah.
pickled down.
Pickled.
I don't have anything in order to clean the mayor except whiskey.
The punted Harangon, who is now stood up and dusting off his clothing, has handed you a canteen of water. Clean him off.
Okay. I guess I just take the canteen and pour it on the rock.
Scrub him clean.
But last time I touched him, he tried to kill me.
You're lucky we haven't killed you yet.
So no, I'm not gonna scrub him clean.
Scrub him.
What do I scrub him with?
Can I just prestidigitation him to clean?
What's the range on prestidigitation?
10 feet, but I'll walk up
Yeah.
and just prestidigitation him clean.
Okay. Walk up. Dr. Gloffiger turns to look at you. Eat with it!
Not in touching the mayor, but he's drunk, so I'm just gonna get him out of this. And I'd press.
You're a good friend.
Yes.
Drag Pura, who is really injured and
rock.
bleeding out, back to the tavern.
So interesting.
That.
Don't touch the rock.
Mhm,
It
I can
hurts.
tell. Yes, yes.
Apparently, pickles are really good weapons. Who knew?
He used them to teleport us. I think he could probably blow us up with pickles.
Probably
Yes.
right. You probably create a pickle
Exactly.
bomb or something.
Pickle nuke.
Pickle pipe bomb.
Pura, you awake in your bed.
Okay.
It is dawn of the 13th Blyreth, and you realize that none of the events that just happened actually occurred. They've all been in a drunken haze from your dream. You
So-
passed out long before you even left the town.
So I didn't even get to the rock.
No, never touched the rock. Never met Dr. Gloffiger, and Evadin was never there. It was all in your head.
I
Those
still know
pickle
what I
shots.
saw.
Those pickle shots really did a number on you.
Mason, you're
They're like
telling us
spiked.
that it was not real? Even to
No,
us,
it's not
we
real.
didn't know it was real?
It was all a dream.
No, you are all characters in his dream.
Oh, you're telling me we could have blown up the rock in a dream. It would have been okay.
No,
Yeah,
this is
100%.
the magic of the rock. Anytime someone harms it, it immediately rewinds the day.
Yeah. You.
I think Pierre is just dumbfounded, trying to figure out
Totally fine.
what just happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, while you're dumbfounded, let's go ahead and take our break right there. We'll pick up as we continue in Strexor. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back very short.
No, go anywhere else, please.
And welcome back. Again, it is the 13th of the month of Blyreth, 2 days before Straxorus celebration of the town's founding. But our party, Lorem Ipsum, in a bit of a battle amongst them, where they are to go next. And when I say a bit of a battle amongst mostly everyone versus Paloma, but we'll figure that out as we get there. Pura awaking from his dream, recollections of last night against Mayor not being real. Those pickle shots definitely doing more of a number than I had hoped. But all of you are outside the lantern. And Mox and Cleo Denorum are also. So, what would you all like to do?
I mean, oh, are we staying for the festival thing that's gonna happen for the few days, or is that
Nah.
I realized that
No.
we never. No, okay, cool. I was making sure out of player, just or out of character, just to make sure if we're doing that. But I'm assuming that it's like
No, I think Doctor What's His Nuts just needed to get back here to sell his pickles.
He has not sold a
Okay.
single pickle. He is just handing them out.
Okay. Well, we have to pick where we're gonna go.
Well,
Our strongest lead is.
I think Kilauea is our strongest lead.
well, how'd we get there? You said we were going to take a regular boat, but assuming we have access to an airship, assuming the Chancellor allows us to take it or to another continent.
Well, here's the problem. If we did take it to. If we went to Oshivester, we would have to get there. Then have to get on the airship, which hasn't arrived back there yet. If it's an 8-day journey, it'll arrive tomorrow back from Provenere.
It'll be there by the time we get there. Or I guess here's a question.
And then we'd have to take the airship across the continent of Phenorbia, because it's a longer distance, and it would have to, I'm assuming, like, we would cut through Escapia, which I don't know what the rules about that are, considering these two nations don't like each other.
Mason, how
Well-
long of a journey would that be on an airship?
From where to where?
From Provenere to,
Or
from
Hydroxylvexin.
no,
Oshivester, Hydroxyl.
no, from
Oh shit.
Well, that we know that's
From
8 days. I'm talking about from Provenere to Kilauea.
To Pajakim?
Because it was a
Why
long
Provenere?
boat ride.
I mean, if we take the boat ride into
Um,
Straxorus,
Give or take probably a week time. It'd probably take you about 60 days to get.
A boat from Straxorus would be even longer.
A boat from Straxorus would be even longer just because.
Is taking a boat
Wait,
on,
what?
on the water going to be slower than taking the airship?
Yes.
well, it's an airship from Oshivester, not Provenere.
Oh, my bad. Oh, shit.
Okay, then that would add on maybe 4 days to your travel because they're roughly in the same parallel. They just have to travel to Pajakim. And that's assuming you fly a direct shot and you don't fly along the major area. That would be a straight line. Which
I mean-
some of them don't do that.
At the end of the day, we could always try and find someone who could teleport us there.
Don't we have our
Madam
resident
Denorum.
Madam Genorum?
Yeah, we
I've
had a long
never
rest.
been- I've never been to Kilauea.
Don't you just have to be familiar? Or have
I will
a
hold up
thing from the
Sizik
place?
as an item.
People don't typically work as a. People don't typically work like that.
Does it say the item is consumed?
No, not usually.
It says it just fades away.
Sizik is killed.
Thanos
For real this
snaps.
time.
I don't feel so good.
You just need things familiar with a place there, though, right?
Yes, that would be much beneficial if you wish to travel to Kilauea.
I look towards
Paloma,
Paloma.
are you sure that you wish to go?
No, but I guess I'm being outvoted. And fine, if y'all want to go to a jank ass island in the middle of nowhere and find nothing, then sure.
Paloma, again, we just need to, whatever this group is that sold it, be it your mother specifically, or maybe she was just doing a quick job for someone else. Someone there knows what they sold.
Paloma, can we talk for a second?
Okay.
I'll like pull you aside privately, away from Rancor hearing.
It did go pretty far.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. We go for a little walk.
I'll just take Rancor to the pickle shop.
No,
Yeah.
no.
He's too
I'll
busy
just stuff the
screaming.
bandages that I stuffed in my ears to ignore Dr. fucking Pickle.
Gobble gherkin.
I'm
That-
gonna go to the pickle shop.
Voluntarily.
Voluntarily going, damn.
I gotta figure out what was in those pickle shots.
Gonna do an Arcana test to see how flammable the pickle shop is.
Anyway, while you guys do that, Evadin and Paloma, go ahead.
You seem very bothered with going to Kilauea.
Yeah. And I think it's gonna be. I don't think we're gonna find anything there. I think it's gonna be a waste of our time.
Is that really what you think? Truly?
No, probably not. But like, I don't want to go anyway. You wanna go to Brontero?
My dad's not there.
What about your mom?
Mr. Dungeon Master, would my mom be in Brontero at this time?
Probably so. Especially with your father being away.
She probably would be. But she's probably too busy for me anyway, and it's a big city.
Well, mine's not a big city.
Yeah? Are you afraid to learn your parents' involvement in this? Or is there something else?
A little bit of both. But what do I do if she is involved? What then? What have we gained?
Maybe she could help us. It's
What if she doesn't want to help us? What if we get there and she doesn't even want to see me?
Did y'all leave off on a bad mark when you left?
I mean, I was angry and upset, and I probably said some things I shouldn't have. And it's been a while since then, so
How do you feel about, I guess, what happened with the words you said? Do you want to try to talk to your mother again?
Yeah. But like I said, I don't know. I'd rather never get the opportunity and never be disappointed.
That's fair. Very fair feeling, I would say.
Plus, there is the real logistical argument of if we teleport there, is Madame Genorm going to stay with us to teleport us back, or are we going to have to take a boat back?
That is a good point. That is a good point. There's logistical arguments for why not to go. And I think definitely the argument of of you rather not be disappointed rather than get the chance to talk to her. The only thing that I see, though, is that I think this is our only real connection that we have to be able to investigate.
I know.
I don't know what your hometown is like, and I don't know if there's some way we could do it without having to talk to your mom.
If we teleport there, y'all are gonna have to duck again, because whatever I have is gonna lead us straight into the house.
Is your mom gonna probably be there?
I don't know.
So that would be quite the interesting situation right there of just immediately teleporting into
Actually,
the
you know
house.
what? I might have. And she starts digging through her pockets as she pulls out like what to you looks like just a random rock. And she's like, "Oh, I found this really cool rock. This might get us to just outside of town."
That is probably better for everybody's sake.
Then you guys won't break her house like you broke Sizik's grandma's house.
That's unfortunate. I want to know if I don't know if we would say that we broke it necessarily. If anyone's to blame, technically, well, I don't know if Madame Genorm would be the one to blame because she's the one that teleported us, but she didn't know. I think it's just kind of an accident. But yeah,
We can
you know one
try.
thing. One thing though, with going is if you're not ready to talk to your mom fully, like you're not ready because you don't want to even be disappointed. Maybe there's a way we don't have to interact with your mom at all.
It's either her or Sizik's mom.
True. One other thing, I will say one thing though. There's information about my family that I've learned that this is very much not information I would want to I wish I could unlearn. But sometimes we have to learn that type of information. Sometimes we have to be disappointed. But as said, we can try our best not to interact with your mom. We do have Sizik's mom after all. But if they are related to all this, then it might be that we'll end up having to interact with them.
Might as well get it over with. I guess we can go tell
Yeah.
everyone else. Talk to Madame Janorm about it.
Yeah. See if she would, and if not, then we'll have time. I'm gonna guess that it's probably the way we're probably gonna go there either way, whether it's logistical or not. So,
I talked with Sizik about it last night. He's up for going. So,
do you have anyone else you want to visit while you're there?
not really. Didn't have a whole lot of friends there.
We'll have us.
Yeah? Are we friends now? Are you... You've said it, actually. You can't take it back.
Yes. I won't. Yes.
That means you have to stop throwing us under the rug. Friends don't do that. You're throwing us under the cart.
Is this with the whole thing with the dude with the taser?
Yeah, that was, like, really not cool.
Alright. Look, that was not me. I did not realize he was gonna fucking taser y'all, okay? I thought he would be a lot more chill, and also I thought we could probably convince him that we were there for inspections and such. I did also not expect him to have a fucking taser. I will note though, is that if it was really going to be a really dangerous situation that I thought that I needed to step into, I would have stepped in. I was just hoping I could learn information by not stepping in and being hidden.
Well, next
And
time,
I didn't have a way to communicate that.
Now that we are officially friends, next time, you gotta step in.
I will do my best.
Okay.
Also try to communicate it with y'all better.
That'd be appreciated.
There's a way I could make Crow do it. I don't know. Yep. Sit back.
For brevity's sake, Pura, you go to visit Dr. Glothiger's Pickle Perch to find out that there was a incredibly high volume of alcohol in those pickle shots. And he makes some chemicals in there that definitely cause some vivid hallucinations. But that's all you obtain before you return to the group.
Can I?
I thought you were gonna say he died of alcohol poisoning.
He didn't give me any of his pickle juice, right? His like special pickle
No,
juice.
he did not.
Oh, okay. Fine.
Well, all of you returning once again. Turn it back to a little bit more of a genuine ambiance, not depressing. Back here, outside the Lantern Light Rest, all of you have perhaps decided that it is Kilauea indeed. I think. So.
Okay.
So what you do in preparation for that?
All right, boys, we're heading to Salsura.
Okay. Madam
Salsura is the
Gennaro.
new pickle pines.
Madam
We
Gennaro,
literally
quick
just got
question.
done walking away from it.
Yes, evident.
Are you able to teleport us to Kilauea?
I can certainly try. It will be. There is a very large of unsuccess.
No, here, I have this, and I'll give her the rock.
Right.
Will rock.
I hope this doesn't mean anything of importance to you, but this is just a rock.
Oh, I took it from like just outside of town. It's a really cool rock. I've had it for
Right.
a while.
Right. I can try.
Or like
But,
here, I don't
you
know. Does the spell doesn't consume the item, right?
No. I do want to make a rules clarification, though, that I misruled teleportation last session. In order to be a linked object taken from an area within the last 6 months.
Oh, hot damn.
Yeah. So that last one I'll let by because it was a item of sentiment that you had made in Stackshore.
Repeat.
You fully cut out.
The last one was an item of sentiment that Paloma made in Straxorus, so like
Yes.
he's letting that one slide.
Yeah, but for here on out, a linked object has to be, according to the spell, taken from a desired destination within the last.
The last 6 months.
Yep. And it has been several years since you and Sizik were in Kilauea.
Oh shit.
Well,
What's the probability of us
Well-
teleporting there?
Well,
To Janorum, I'm not going to tell you exactly.
Oh, you know what?
may only.
we have the box,
I was about to say.
and that didn't come
You have the box.
from my town, but it came from
Yeah, that would have come from the capital.
yeah.
Which is
That
better than
would-
nothing.
That, just to play devil's advocate, that would you would have to know that box was from Popkeen and not from anywhere else.
Fine.
How about the letter?
We have the manifest.
Manifest would probably work.
Let's use the manifest. Let's manifest our way over there.
Manifest our destiny. We're gonna go
Wow.
to this exotic island and kill all the natives.
No,
Small
no.
box.
Oh no, I'm so sorry, people watching our degenerate cast.
Oh my god.
Hey man, you're the one who just put out the murder hobo short.
This is true. Fair point.
Wait, there's a murder hobo
Okay.
short?
Yes. Go watch it later. Okay. Right, I can use the manifest. Just know that will likely bring us directly to the airport, to the skyport of Pajakin, which again, I think Mox had mentioned earlier, could be a rather hostile situation depending on.
I mean, at the end of the day,
We have no
the
idea.
people we need to speak to are the ones at the skyport, right? The ones who do the trading.
Yeah.
If they're there.
I mean, I know it says these 2 people, but I'm assuming, at the end of the day, they could just be couriers. We probably want to speak to, like, again, someone of this trading guild, so to speak, because they would probably know what they sold. And I'm assuming they'd have at least some sort of representation there.
It's
Bucket we
official.
ball.
Well, I will start making preparations for teleport. If anybody needs to wrap anything up, that would be a good time to do it.
How do we get back?
Right.
Because y'all are going to.
Yeah,
I
we'll go
have
on to
a possible
Agonsville.
solution.
Oh, Rancor. Go ahead.
I may or may not have a portal orb stolen from Karamira.
Oh, you have a portal orb, but that's quite convenient.
What does the
I could
portal
o-
orb do?
I can only teleport us somewhere that I'm very, very familiar with.
Well, that
And-
could at least get us back to Fenorbia,
Yeah.
Provenere. Well, we'll
I don't
cross
know
that
if
bridge when we get
Provenere
there.
is the best idea, but yeah,
Again,
when we get there.
That'd at least get us back to the continent.
Mm-hmm.
that's
Just-
the big one.
That's really is
Right.
the big one. The big time
Okay.
sink.
I think I could do 10 people.
Yeah, and Madame Janorum and Mox don't need to count because they're gonna go to Agonsville.
Also, doesn't the portal orb have to do it for? It could be whoever uses it.
Yes, that's how they typically work. Whoever is holding the item, familiar
Yes,
with that.
but we've got you and Owunul, who don't want to go home. We've got Pura, who we don't even know what his home is. We've got
Yes, we do.
Altrix. Has he said his home's name?
Yes, he has a few times.
Isn't the
Oh,
portal
never
orb
mind.
to going like if we wanted to go to Provenere?
We could,
Yeah,
but is that a good idea? Provenere is kind of a hole right now. And then there's Altrix, who definitely hasn't told anyone about his home.
I
I
mentioned
if
it.
yes, but you have not really told us much about it for personal reasons. So I don't imagine you want us to suddenly teleport into your home.
Oh
for-
no, we probably
Yes.
no, that would be bad.
And
How bad would it be?
Bad.
And then there's we're already going to Kilauea, so Paloma and Sizik are out of that. The last option would be my home.
I'm also pretty sure that one of the artifacts that we might be looking for might have came from my hometown.
Oh, yeah.
You're just now showing this
Mm-hmm.
under
Then
what?
Maybe that's where we go
information.
next after this, after Kilauea.
Because of the SOS. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that came from Aethlune. So
Yeah. Okay, we can go
I
there
have a
next.
feeling.
There we go. We know we're gonna go next.
Also, because I'm a horrible listener. Where's he from again?
Aethlune. It's on the
Aethlune.
map. It's ruins of
Aethlune.
Aethlune.
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of the Fen Marsh of Escapi.
Yeah, and I think that the
Ah,
object is what
There it is.
when those people came to kill my family were after. So.
You're actually, guys, y'all aren't that far away from it. If you were to, well, I said not that far. You would still travel a month or so if you were. Given the position on the map, you're
Well,
close by.
I think we know where we're going. Kilauea.
Okay. Anyone need to make any last pit stops, preparations?
No.
Oh,
Anyone want to say hi to
I
the
will
mayor?
stare at the case with the mayor. No.
Alright.
Does the mayor
I let
count
go.
as a person for
Yeah.
the teleport spell?
can we
He
say
does, but willing creatures.
can we say at like some point I got some pickles or not?
Sure, you bought some
Okay.
pickles. That's fine.
I want,
How many pickles do you want to buy?
like 10 pickles
Just regular pickles?
or whatever. If there's special pickles. we
Well,
wanna
those
get
are different prices, so that's why I'm asking.
Cool. How much are the special pickles?
How special of a pickle?
Yep, honestly.
The
Here, let's
the
do
most
it this way.
His
You want to
first
buy 10
customer.
pickles? Let's.
5 special, 5 regular. If that's easiest.
Okay, all right. The 5 regular ones are 1 copper. Those are easy. All right. In total, we'll do 32 gold pieces for those 5 special pickles. Total.
Just
Really
really
special.
special.
No idea what they do.
And
Okay.
you can mark down in your inventory. You have 3 pickle variant 1. You have 1 of pickle variant 2 and 1.
Wait, what you say? 3 variant pickle 1, 2.
Yep.
Variant pickle 2.
1 of variant pickle 2 and 1 of variant pickle 3.
Okay.
I can't speak.
It's a
Okay,
bomb.
Write that down.
It's a bomb.
Pick.
Yep.
Is there a fuse sticking out of the pickle?
And you said 32
No.
gold.
Yeah, 32 for those 5.
I don't suppose anyone.
Thank
this
you very
town-
much for your business.
Thank you.
I don't suppose
you.
anyone in this town sells blasting powder.
You can look for it to quickly realize that no, they do not.
Blasting
Yeah,
pickles.
figured.
Blasting pickles, yes, but blasting powder,
Yeah,
no.
if anyone, it was gonna be him because, fuck. But
He's crazy. Yeah, I know.
I guess to Kilauea.
Okay. Yes. Okay. All of you gather around, please.
Do you know if the sky dock is small, Paloma?
I don't know.
She's never been. She's never been there.
Rancor is
Skyport
going to
didn't
duck just in case.
Squat down. Okay. She begins to cast teleport. It's one action. However, in the middle of her casting, she receives a sending message from someone you all are unfamiliar with. But because of the distortion of magic, because she's casting a spell, the sending kind of redirects in the space instead of just her. And all of you hear, Cleo, are you all right? Did you free yourself? And then it cuts off as the teleport fires. And she is visibly distracted, caught off guard, and then the teleport fires. And I'm going to roll with that interruption to see the outcome.
in the middle of the ocean, boys.
Okay.
Can Rancor swim? He has no fat on him, so he does not float. He does not float.
Have fun drowning.
Wow.
He goes straight into the Forbidden Strait and all immediately sucked into a whirlpool.
Says the bird who all her feathers will get soaked and probably weigh a ton.
That doesn't mean she can't swim.
Yeah.
Well, you're
Sorry, gotta roll some die.
you can probably run on water now at your level, can't you?
Mm-mm, not yet.
Oh.
Okay.
2 more levels.
1 second.
Actually, I think that's like a way of the 4 elements.
No, it's just normal monk.
Crazy.
They would just be able to run up walls and do whatever the fuck they want without issue.
Okay. All of you teleport. Previously, when you teleported with her, your energies were all tethered together. However, in this teleport, energies begin to split apart as you're traveling through the space between the physical realm. I need all of you to
Roll you a what?
Cut out.
roll a d4.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, no.
Are we splitting the party?
Maybe.
Rolling a d4.
Yep.
Do you want me to roll for
Yep.
Sizik too?
I will roll for Sizik.
Okay.
And
Also
Owunul.
roll.
Oh, and Owunul, yeah.
Yes, I will also roll for Owunul.
And because he's not here, I will ask on his behalf. Are you rolling for cricket?
No. Cricket can't get teleported anyway, so he got left behind in Strike Source.
Had to ask.
Shame.
Yep, that's great.
Rip
Alright,
Riley.
hold on. Okay. Sorry. I got multiple numbers.
Watch us all go to one place except one person.
All right, Paloma.
Excuse me. 2.
2. Okay. Rancor.
Also a 2.
Evadin.
3.
Okay. Pura.
4.
And Owunul. Altrix. I saw Owens and then defaulted the wrong name.
1.
Oh god.
What? Yeah. Alright. Okay. all of you land. You are basically falling out of the sky, just very close. Landing on your feet, like. Altrix, you are met face first as you head dive into a sand dune, and sand just kind of splatters out, and then right behind you, two more landing in the dunes. Paloma and Rancor, you all land in water. You have no idea where you are, but Owunul is with you, as that's all you know. Evadin and Pura, you both land.
Wait.
Land where?
We landed what?
You land in the same place. You land in
Uh-oh.
just bruising yourself.
It's bad. You're cutting out really hard.
Okay. You land on a cobbled city, where you scrape yourself against the cobblestone, and none of you know where Calio Denorum went. But now that we're scattered, that's where we'll end tonight's episode. And we'll pick back up next week with whatever mess we have left. Thank you all for joining us. We will see you next time. And as a reminder, the adventure continues.